Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for taking some time out of your day. 2 days away from the big October 1st, so appreciate your time. My name is Bobby. I'm a regional sales manager with NCD, and so I am going to go through our product portfolio with you today, and then give you a demonstration of our enrollment platform. So I know we all are busy people, and so I'm going to look to get through this in about 30 minutes or so. But if you have questions as we go through, I see we have 10 attendees, so we should be able to take quick questions as we go through. But if you want to hold those for the end, we can do that as well. Is everybody hearing me okay?
I'm hearing you fine.
Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure. Awesome. Well, I will go ahead and get started. So this will give you a quick agenda. So I'll talk about who we are as a company. I'll talk about our product and then go through our portal like I mentioned. And then lastly, we can close with a few notes on commissions. So with that being said, if you have not heard of NCD, we are what would be called a program manager. So we work a little bit differently. But before I explain that, first we always like to read our mission statement. So we exist to improve lives by driving better health, exceptional experience, and spreading the smile. So we do that in three main ways: developing innovative products by partnering with well-known brands, which I'll get to here on the next slide. But the two other main tenets of what we do: we are an obsessively service-focused company, and that's really what we invest into as a means of setting ourselves apart. So we have an absolutely relentless focus on our member care, so giving our members the best possible experience we possibly can, as well as providing the best agent support that we can. So I'm a part of the agent support and account executive team that works with all of our contracted agencies across the country to do training, onboarding, support your marketing, support your growth. But we also have an agent support team that's always available to take questions as well. So those are the three main tenets of who we are as a company. So getting into more of the specifics, like I mentioned, you may not have heard of NCD. That's okay. How we function is that we are a full service ancillary and supplemental benefits carrier that partners with other brands to bring the best custom individual products to market. So you might have heard our specialty is dental. And so NCD actually used to stand for National Care Dental. So we started out as a standalone dental plan, and that used to be offered through Nationwide. But as our company has evolved and brought other products to market, about 3 or 4 years ago, we were acquired by a new CEO, and then that CEO was able to establish a partnership with MetLife. So MetLife obviously is a well-known name in the financial services industry. They're a top tier name in the dental industry, really widely recognized and trusted by dentists with respect to network, as well as respect to their claims paying system. So all of our dental products are NCD by MetLife. And then we have a custom vision product called Preferred, and that's NCD by VSP. So MetLife on dental, VSP on vision, and then we just launched an under 65 accident product through Zurich Insurance. And so I'll get to that in some future slides. But again, we are a program manager, so we partner with some of the best known underwriters and carriers in the various different supplemental benefit spaces to bring unique custom products to you as brokers for the individual market. Going back to what I was talking about a little bit before with respect to member care, we have very high service level agreements with respect to the response metrics that we hold our teams to. So we average a 15-second answer time for members calling in. We complete over 10,000 welcome calls per month. So these are outbound to new members that aid in retention, that they will do everything from making sure they're getting their ID cards. They'll even get on a 3-way call with them to help them set up their first cleaning or first appointment or first eye exam. They'll walk through, a bill with them. They'll assist them with whatever it is that they need. So our member care team is always there and available. They are based in the United States, which is a big value add. So they're very friendly, very easy to understand, and provide that exceptional experience that we really have heavily invested ourselves in and really made a part of our core identity. With all that being said, we've been able to average a 4.9 star rating average on Google, which makes us one of the highest rated insurance companies just in general in the SEO space. So very, very proud of that. And then, like I mentioned, our agent support team. Sorry, to back up really quick, something that I always like to mention, whether you're an agent or a member, you can actually call, email, or text our support teams. And so we try to allow people for their preferred methods of communication. So with that being said, we allow for call, email, and text, both for brokers or members. And we're going to respond to those extremely quickly. So again, with our agent support team, they're going to answer calls, emails, or texts within under an hour. Obviously, calls answer within 30 seconds, email and text response within an hour. And then, like I mentioned, I'm a part of our account executive team. So we do a lot of training, do a lot of onboarding. We help agents if they're looking for marketing tools, lead generation activities. So we're here to help you grow your business. So a little bit briefly about why dental insurance. It's not just oral health. It leads to poor oral health can lead to various other forms of physical health. A study from Johns Hopkins showed that poor oral hygiene increased the risk of cancer by 24%. Poor oral health doubles the chance of high blood pressure and has also been linked to other diseases such as rheumatoid arthritis, dementia, even Alzheimer's disease. According to the CDC, over $45 billion is lost in productivity every year in the United States because of untreated oral disease. Over 60% of adults over 65 are affected by periodontal disease. More than 1 in 4 adults have untreated cavities. Half of those folks over 30 are showing signs of gum disease. And with all that being said, 80% of the adults that have unmet dental care, they cited cost is the reason for not having that care. So your client, we always like to say your client needs dental insurance for their oral health, overall health, and financial wellness. So it extends just beyond dental hygiene for us. So with that being said, I'll get into our dental product overview. Hi there, can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you again.
Okay, looks like we're talking for a second. Okay, so as far as our dental plans go, so we offer guaranteed issue on all of our plans with area-based rates. So the only thing that's going to affect somebody's rate premium with respect to our dental plans is their area. So it's all zip code based. In general, as a rule of thumb, the more rural somebody is, so farther away from the city, the lower their rate premium is going to be. The closer they are to an urban city center, the higher rate they're going to be. So think of the highest rates being places like San Francisco, New York, things of that nature. But again, there's no age nor gender does not have any effect on rate premium. So guaranteed issue, area-based rates. The primary applicant for a dental plan needs to be 18 or older, but we do provide dependent coverage for spouses and families. And then again, there's no upper age limit on the dental. So you can join at any time and stay on as long as you'd like. And there's no, your age will never cause a rate increase. As far as the network goes, we use the MetLife PDP Plus network. PDP is not prescription drug plan. It stands for preferred dental provider, but it's MetLife's largest network. So there's over 400,000. It was switching back and forth between my phone and my computer. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, so sorry about that. I'm going to turn my phone off so that's not an issue again. All right. So a couple other things with our relationship with MetLife. We have very high negotiated rates with MetLife. So on average, those are 35 to 50% below the maximum allowable charge. And we have a very easy to use provider lookup tool. So I'll demonstrate that when I touch on our enrollment portal. But in addition to that, all of our plans are association-backed plans. And so that includes the membership to the National Wellness and Fitness Association. So if you haven't heard of an association-backed plan, it would be something similar to like an AARP, where our members, on top of their dental, vision, or accident plan, they're getting a lot of extra benefits bundled into that association package. So think of things like we offer zero copay, $0 telemedicine, discounts on hearing aids and other medical devices. We offer 2 different carriers for pet insurance, both now with MetLife and Spot. We offer pet insurance through that association at a very discounted rate for our members. Some lifestyle benefits, so travel, hotels, cruises, roadside assistance, rental cars, vacation packages. So a lot of great both health and lifestyle benefits that are all built into that National Wellness and Fitness Association. And when you're quoting somebody on our plan, there is a portion of the premium that does go for that, but it's automatically included. So it won't raise the premium at the end right as you're enrolling. So it's all built into the cost.
And then real quick, we did have a question just come through, and I know you said just kind of stop since we have a smaller group, but is there any price discount for policyholder and spouse in the same policy?
No, they're unfortunately not like, it's not like MedSup where there's a household discount. Okay, so without further ado, I will get into our dental portfolio. So one thing that I like to explain, so technically we do have 8 different dental plans, as you can see here, but you can really think of it as 3 dental plans with varying annual maximums. So the 3 dental plans are the Core, Elite, and Bright. So I'll start with the Core, but before I do that, this is our product availability map. So everywhere you see that's in dark blue, we have all of our products available. The only state we do not have any product at all is Washington State. And then you can see there's a little bit of a restriction in the North and the Northeast, but for the most part, we have widespread footprint and availability of our products. So I'll start with the Core plans, but I want to make things as simple as possible for you. When we look at these Core plans, I'm going to say pretty much ignore everything but the Complete plan, because the Elite plans are going to replace that value and Essentials in my mind when I'm just making a full comparison for a client. So when we pay attention on this slide, let's pay attention to the plan on the right, the Core Complete. That is our #1 selling plan. It's our most comprehensive plan, and especially most comprehensive for a individual on Medicare. To start off, it has a $10,000 annual max. That is far and above any other annual maximum you're going to find on the individual market for a dental plan by a lot. It has a lifetime deductible, so a $100 lifetime deductible. So as soon as you pay that and satisfy the deductible once, as long as that policy stays continuously in force, the customer will never have to pay that deductible again. 100% coverage on preventative services from day one. It does cover 3 cleanings and 3 exams per year. For the basic and major services, you can see it's a graduating coverage. So for basic, it goes from 65 to 80 to 90% day one, or for the first 24 months on the plan. Major services goes from 10 to 50 to 60% across the first 24 months on the plan. So there's no waiting periods, but it is graduating coverage. So as you can see, the longer someone stays on the plan, the more percentage of their care that we're covering. And what is important to understand and note on top of that is that those percentages that you see there, that's a percentage of an already deeply discounted, highly negotiated rate that we have in place with MetLife. So again, as a reminder, on average, with our negotiated rates we have in place with MetLife, those are on average 35 to 50% below what the maximum allowable charge would be. And then the percentages that you see here, we're covering a percentage of that already discounted rate. And so it's important to put that in perspective when you're looking at the efficacy of a dental plan of, hey, what are the negotiated rates? And then what are the percent co-insurances or percent coverages that I'm looking at? So again, your basics are covered 100% from day one. I'm sorry, your preventative services are covered 100% from day one. Basic and major are a graduating scale with reaching the maximum amount of coverage after 24 months, 0 waiting period. And then the core complete plan also does provide $3,000 worth of coverage on implants every single year. And so implants is something that sometimes or oftentimes is not covered at all on a dental plan, especially in the Medicare space. We offer not only implant coverage, but annual implant coverage, where some competitors will only pay a certain amount of implants in a lifetime. We provide that $3,000 in implant coverage every single year. Next, I will get into our elite plans. And so, like I mentioned to you before, to ignore those other core plans, the elite 1,500, 3,000, and 5,000, these plans, in my opinion, if you're looking for less than that Cadillac plan, these are where you're going to look at, because it has the best ranges for annual maximum and the best plan design other than that core complete. So as you can see here, it's one plan with 3 different annual max, so you can choose 1,500, 3,000, or 5,000. A $50 annual deductible on these, 100% coverage on preventative services from day one with 2 cleanings and 2 exams covered per year, 80% of basic services covered on day one. And so with the other plan, that's a graduating scale. This is 80% coverage on basic services from day one. So think of things like fillings, extractions, things of that nature. You're going to have that 80% coverage. So you're only paying 20% of a discounted rate from day one. And then on these major services graduates to 50% after 12 months on the plan. So more of a standard 180-50 plan design, 0 waiting periods across all major services, and then individual monthly premiums start at $35, $59, and $78. And remember, these are all guaranteed issue plans with area-based rates. So the only thing that's going to affect someone's rate premium is their zip code. Age, gender, health status, none of those will be considered, or nobody has to be underwritten at all for a dental plan. The only underwriting per se that we do adhere to is the missing tooth clause, but that's pretty standard amongst dental plans. The way that that works is, if you're not familiar, is that if you have a tooth that's extracted on a different dental plan, we're not able to cover the implant on our plan. We have to extract the tooth to be able to cover the implant. So that's the missing tooth clause. But again, that applies pretty standardly across all dental carriers. I'm going to stop there to take a sip of water, but I'll pause for any questions. Alrighty. So last.
No question. I did have a quick question that just popped in my own head. Is there any credit for prior coverage that you guys do?
So no, unfortunately, we don't do any proof or prior coverage waivers. It just wouldn't allow us to maintain the level of benefits that we do have. So it would really denigrate our risk pools and would not be able to provide the plans that we do. So unfortunately, no, we do not provide proof of prior coverage waivers.
And then another question did just come through. Is there any credit if upgrading from Elite 3,000 to 5,000 after a couple of years?
Yeah. So if you want to stay within NCD by MetLife, but upgrade to another plan, the years that you spent paying into the existing plan will count towards that. So if it's in-house, yes, you can upgrade to another plan. Obviously, you have to pay a higher premium for a larger annual maximum plan, but yes, your years of paying in do count, so you don't have to start over at that 10% or what have you.
Awesome. That is great.
Yep. All right, and so our last dental plan is our Bright plan. So these are a more budget conscious, preventative focused plan option. So the annual maximums are either 1,000 or 1,500. $100 annual deductible per member on these plans. And then as you can see, these plans are much more geared toward your preventative and basic services. So graduating from 90 to 100% on preventative, 50 to 70% across 24 months on basic services. And then this plan tops out at 20% coverage on major services. So again, same discounted rates, same network, everything applies. But this plan, as you can see here, it's much more geared, toward more wanting just a preventative maintenance style plan at a lower price point. So this plan was actually built based off of broker feedback of, hey, we want something that for somebody that is fairly healthy with respect to their oral care, is not anticipating a lot of work being done. They just want a more maintenance plan that's going to cover their cleanings, exams, fillings, things like that. So that's how and why this plan was designed. So again, at that lower price point for a lower budget option. To get a little bit more into the NWFA, these are some of the brands that are included in that. Like I mentioned, pet insurance is becoming more and more of a popular item amongst consumers. So we actually have two different options for pet insurance now. One is Spot, the other is MetLife. So MetLife now has a pet product. Dial Care is our telemedicine vendor. Great hearing benefits. Audicus, we're adding hearing aid vendors pretty regularly. And then again, lots of different brands in the lifestyle and travel space along the lines of hotels, cruises, rental cars, roadside assistance, lots of different benefits that are all built into the plan. Our dental plans are in our DP. Was there a question?
Yeah, one just came through. Sorry, I think there's a slight delay when I talk to. So, but is there any addition, or are these in addition to what they may have on their MA plan? So I think the question is more like, how do they coordinate with an MA?
Yeah, so great question. So a couple things on that note. For the dental specifically, we are actually one of the few carriers who will coordinate with Medicare Advantage embedded dental. And so the way that the MA plans typically work, and that's the place that I come from. I sold and was a broker manager for a large MA carrier for a little over 10 years. And so with the Medicare Advantage embedded dental, typically those are a smaller annual allowance. And so the way that it works is that we actually will coordinate to where once the Medicare Advantage embedded dental has been exhausted, we will kick in as a secondary coverage. And so that's the way that it works on the dental. Vision, it doesn't really work that way because typically ours is just an annual frame allowance as well. So it's not as much coordination on the vision side. But then with respect to all those other supplemental benefits, yeah, that would be totally in addition and separate to whatever embedded supplemental or ancillary benefits someone would get within a Medicare Advantage plan. So within MA, you're getting transportation, OTC, home delivered meals, all sorts of different things. These would exist totally separately. So they don't coordinate with respect to all those other benefits, but we do coordinate benefits on the dental side. Does that make sense?
Does make sense to me. Now, just to clarify, so if let's say the MA plan covers 50% and then NCD covers 50%, that wouldn't cover 100%. It would exhaust the MA completely. Once that benefit's exhausted, then the NCD would kick in use its
Yep,
policy, right?
exactly. And if it's not an MA, if it's not an allowance style plan, say the MA plan's covering 50%, like you said, so that would be 50% remaining. We would cover whatever the major service is on that remaining 50%. So we would cut, like say it's on the core complete, we would cover 70% of that remaining 50% that the MA plan doesn't cover. So we do provide very advantageous coordination of benefits on the dental side.
Thank you.
So, yep. And then our dental plans are DPPO. So we do allow for in-network and out-of-network utilization. The best way to explain the difference there is that if they go in-network, whether they go in-network or out-of-network, we're gonna pay the same percentage. So like for major services, it's usually gonna be 60 or 70%. So we're gonna pay the same percentage no matter what, but it's just gonna depend on, hey, are we gonna pay 50% of the negotiated rate or the maximum allowable charge? We still will provide the same percentage of coverage. It just, if they go in network, it's going to be on that negotiated rate that we have in place with MetLife. If they go out of network, the dentist is allowed to, bill up to the maximum allowable charge, so they're going to have more out of pocket. So as you can see here, the amount that we pay is the same, both in network versus out of network, but without that negotiated rate, the client is going to pay more. And then a question that I actually do get a lot is if somebody goes out of the country, so a lot of people go to Mexico and Canada to receive dental work. It's the same thing. We will still pay, but it's based on out of network rates. And so they're going to pay, a higher percentage or a higher amount. So it's up to the client that way. So we do give the option of going in network versus out of network, but out of network, there's no agreed upon fee schedule with MetLife in place. So getting into vision, this is our VSP preferred plan. So we just have one custom vision plan through VSP. As you can see there at the top, the premium ranges from $22 for an individual up to $51 for a family. $20 eye exam copay, $220 in frame allowance, $150 in contact lens allowance. And then we also have a copay structure on our various different lens enhancements where the coverage provides a lesser out-of-pocket cost for all those different types of lens treatments and lens enhancements. The most popular among those being progressive lenses. Our members can get a progressive lens treatment for a $50 copay, which is a very good price. Normally, on average, that's going to cost $170 plus. So $50 on that progressive lens copay benefit. So, yep, go ahead.
I want to go back to that last slide.
Hmm.
Or like the allowance on the frames, if they do a family plan and let's say there's 3 people on it, does that allowance get tripled or is it still the same allowance?
I believe it's the allowance per person, but I have not been asked that yet since joining at NCD, so let me clarify that. I'll shoot over. No. Any other questions before I move into our last product, accident?
None have come through yet.
I will get back to you on that lens allowance or frame allowance question. Oh, where did I lost my, okay. Let's see here. So a couple more points. When somebody enrolls in one of our dental and vision plans and accident, so any of our products, they're going to get a confirmation text within a couple minutes of us receiving that application. Within an hour, they're going to get a confirmation email. just letting them know that their application has been received. Within 24 hours, they're going to get a welcome to NCD email, which is going to have things like their member ID number, digital access to get their ID cards, more of the pertinent details about their plans. And then within 7 to 10 days, they're going to get their full fulfillment packet that's going to have all printed, written documentation and information about all their benefits, as well as their physical ID cards. And so with that being said, when somebody enrolls in one of our plans, they're going to get a dental, vision, or accident card plus an NWFA card. So they get a separate card for those NWFA benefits. Our agent launchpad, that is can be found on ncd.com/agents. That's where someone can go on and download and look at any of our marketing materials. We have tons of training materials, both written and videos. We have a lot of marketing resources with respect to social media templates, email templates, things that you can use to keep up with your book of business, to offer cross-selling, to do lead generation. So lots of great resources on that agent support. We have a dental sales playbook that gives you a full tips and resources on how to generate dental leads and dental sales. So lots of great things within our agent launchpad. With respect to commissions, we are unique in the ancillary space in that we pay level for life commissions. So you're going to earn the same commission for dental, vision, or accident products level for the life of the policy. And so that's something that's really important to us, because we know that to build a successful agency on the health side, you're wanting to, obviously your goal and what you all are working toward is building those consistent renewable commissions for Medicare Advantage plans, Medicare supplement plans, ACA plans, whatever niche that you're selling in. And so we look to operate the same way so that our commissions pay the same frequency as your other plan commissions, so you can easily and better track and calculate what your average revenue per client is. A lot of the dental and vision and just ancillary carriers out there in general, they're going to just pay you a one-time commission or a percentage in year one that drops off precipitously. Not the case with NCD. We offer level for life commissions on all of our policies. At a street level agent, we pay 21% of commissionable premium on dental, 34% on vision, and then 36% on accident. So level for life commissions is another thing that really sets us apart in our space. So that brings me to the end of this deck. I want to pause there because I did want to show you just a couple quick slides on our accident plans. But any questions on dental and vision before I finish up with accident? Oops.
Nothing's come through yet.
Okay. So I won't go through all these slides, certainly. Let's see here. So if you're not selling accident today, so accident for us is an under 65 product. And what I mean by that is that someone has to be under 65 to join our accident plan, but they can stay on the plan up until age 70. So it is an under 65 product. And what an accident plan is designed to do is really be a hedge of protection against deductibles and out-of-pocket maximums in the case of an accident. And so being that it's an under 65 product, a lot of the folks that are getting health insurance through the ACA or other means, they often have very high deductibles, and that would be very financially stressful in the event of an accident if they were having to come up with that full deductible. And also other times, other things with accidents, costs come up, maybe physical therapy, care in a hotel room if you had to travel. So there's a lot of different things that come up. So the accident plans really just do function as that hedge of financial protection to provide some extra resources and peace of mind during that time. So it's important to define what an accident is. An accident or accidental means a sudden, unexpected, specific, and abrupt event that occurs by chance in identifiable place and time during the policy term. So think of things like slips and falls, car accidents, sports-related injuries, basically anything that doesn't occur over the course of time. So what would be excluded from accidents are anything like chronic back pain, chronic knee, joint, tendon issues, things of that nature. It really just needs to be specific and unexpected at a certain time to qualify as an accident, and then those benefits would kick in. So it helps cover any kind of related costs, so doctor visits, urgent care, x-ray, surgery, so anything that shows up on the explanation of benefits, anything that shows up on the EOB related to that accident, those costs would help to go cover that. And it's first dollar coverage, so there's no coordination needed. And so if somebody even just did not have health insurance overall, but wanted to be protected in the case of an accident, they could enroll on a plan like this and not have to coordinate with the medical plan, no deductibles, no waiting periods, and no network restrictions. Like I mentioned, as far as eligibility, it is guaranteed issue up to age 64. So the primary applicant does need to be between the ages of 18 and 64, and then they can stay on up until age 70. And we do provide dependent coverage for both children and families. This is our product availability map. So everywhere that you see in orange, the accident plan is available. I already covered that. So this is the way the benefits work, is it's a per covered person per accident benefit. So you can choose your accident amount of 5,000, 7,500, 10, or 15,000. And so again, that's per covered person per accident. So it's not a cumulative benefit and it's not an annual benefit. That benefit amount is going to pay out each and every time that there's an accident that occurs for somebody that's covered on the policy. No deductibles, no waiting periods. There's also an additional $500 ER transportation benefit, a $300 ER treatment benefit. So if somebody has to use Aerovac or ambulance, that's where that transportation benefit is going to pay out. And then lastly, there is an accidental death and dismemberment sum up to $10,000 on the plan. It also does come with the NWFA benefits, just like any of our other plans. So those are all built in as well. And then the accident has some additional things along the lines of alternative medicine, imaging, lab, chiropractic discounts. So trying to structure benefits that would be related and applicable to the accident. But again, it includes the base membership of all the benefits, just like any of our other dental vision plans. These are the premiums. So as you can see, the premiums starts out at $25 for a single member on a $5,000 accident benefit. At the very, very highest amount, a full family that wants a $15,000 per accident benefit would pay $115 a month. And then you can see there's all of the iterations there in between, depending upon how many people you're covering and at what benefit amount. So 25 to 115 range on the premium, and that's all commissionable. And so like I mentioned, 36% on accident is going to be the commissionable premium. So just to look at a quick example, if somebody was to be in a mountain biking accident and their total accident expenses, so when we say total accident expenses, that's the total expenses that are on the EOB related to that incident. So say the total in that case is $4,100. Our plan is going to pay up to the EOB amount or up to the benefit amount, whichever is higher. So since the EOB amount was $4,100 and our lowest benefit amount is $5,000, in this case it would pay up to that EOB amount of $4,100. And so that's the check that someone's going to get directly from NCD. So it doesn't go through the provider, it goes directly through the member. and then let's say that in this case somebody's health insurance deductible was $3,500, it doesn't have to coordinate with that. So even though their deductible is $3,500, we're still going to pay up to that $4,100 EOB amount, which in this example would leave this customer with an extra $600 for recovery costs. And so those are those loose odds and ends that you never know what you're going to need that money for. But again, just as to reiterate, we're going to pay up to the EOB amount or up to the benefit amount, whichever the two is higher. So again, like I mentioned, 36% on street level for accident is the premium. And so as I was mentioning before, we really like to encourage brokers to look at what is that average revenue per client. So you have your $350 or $400 a year MA or Med Sup renewals, or whatever the case may be on if you're selling ACA. Well, what would that look like is if on half of your clients you added a dental and vision or a dental and accident that's it's gonna tack on $250 to $300 a year on top of that renewable income. You just took a $400 per year client to a $700 per year client by adding products that they need and that they want. And so again, our goal is to help you to add on those extra layers of renewable commission, and also the more products that you have with your clients, the more likely that they're going to retain you as their broker. So that is the end of the accident slides. Real quick before we close out, I did just want to quickly show you our enrollment portal because that was enhanced recently. So I'm going to go, any questions on the accident products? All right. So we did a recent refresh and upgrade to our enrollment portal. So for anybody, your enrollment portal link and your Pearl link, they're one and the same. So everybody has an enrollment link that's the main domain is enrollment.ncd.com, and then it's / your agent ID. So that's what you would want to save to your bookmarks as your NCD enrollment link. But that's also a Pearl link that you can send to a customer. So if they wanted to self-enroll, or you just wanted to put that in your email signature, people do a lot of different things with it. But again, once you're enrolled once you are logged in with your agent ID, it's going to have your name here at the top, so that any enrollments that happen through that link, you're recorded as the agent of record. So this is what our upgraded enrollment portal looks like. I'm just going to do a quick run through. So all you have to do to start off is put in name and date of birth. So I'm going to use myself as an example here. And so since I am under the age of 65, all the plans are available based on my age and my zip code, because I'm in Phoenix and I'm below 65. So you can start off by saying, okay, coverage level, are we talking about a member and their spouse, a member and their children, or a full family plan? So you'll want to make sure you select that first, and then you want to look at effective date. So effective date for any plans, you can make the first day of the following month or the month after. So you can do up to 2 months out. And so with that being said, you can select October or November 1st for an effective date here. And then you'll select whether you're looking for dental, vision, or accident, or any combination of the three. So and that you can quote and enroll in all those together. So I'm going to select dental here to start, and then it'll bring up all of the available dental plans. So as you can see, and then it'll adjust the premium that you see here at the top to my area. So that's the final premium, and that even includes the NWFA association fee that's built into the plan. So as you can see here, you can look at all the plans. It's a nice feature that you can select view details. It'll bring up more details about the plan, as well as you can download a full benefit summary that you can save or send as a PDF. You can also download an even more detailed product overview that has more procedure codes, exclusions, limitations, more fine print. If you really want to give all of the details and documentation for yourself or the member at the time of enrollment. So again, when you press view details, it'll bring up all that information. Lastly, you can view additional NWFA benefits. And so it'll bring up all of the applicable NWFA benefits for that plan, so that somebody knows exactly what they're getting with the plan that they're enrolling in. So that view details section is very important. And then you can press add to cart, or we have a comparison tool. So where you can actually compare up to 3 plans at once. So if I press the compare button, compare, and just compare, I'm just making these random up, and I press compare coverage, it'll generate a side by side that you can look at all of them, again, apples to apples, if somebody wants to do that. And then where did that go? Let's go back here. Oops. And then lastly, I just wanted to show you, once you figure out the plan that you want, you can press add to cart, and then review cart. It'll give you what the final premium is, and then it'll tell you what it would be to add those other coverages, and then you can press begin application, or you can send this, whatever, based on whatever you select, you can send the quote to the customer. And so if you want to send them a quote, you'll put in their email, and then you can even CC yourself as the agent. And so you can send someone a quote, and then it'll give them the option of whether they want to self-enroll themselves in that quote. So lots of different ways that you can capture those enrollment opportunities just using this one singular enrollment link. And so then from there, you press, begin application. There's only like 5 screens. You don't have to collect a social security number or a Medicare number. You just collect their basic demographic information. You can select the billing date, and then you can select whether they're drawing from a bank account or a credit or debit card. And then submit the application from there, and all of your agent on record will be captured, just as long as you're logged in using your personal enrollment link. And so that is our upgrades. And lastly, as you can see here on the enrollment portal, you're always going to see search dental providers and search vision providers. So if you click those links, that's where you can get on to look at the MetLife directory. And just to illustrate the strength of that network, I'm going to use my home zip code, and I'm a little bit west of Phoenix. There's over 6,000 dentists within 25 miles of my zip code. So it's one of the strongest dental networks that you're going to find just in the industry as a whole. So yeah, I think that brings me to the end. I know we covered a lot, but are there any questions?
All right, I just got one in from Bob. I'll handle this one. It's how about contracting? Great news is we will help out with all that over at Pinnacle. Let me share my screen here. So here is my information. You have my email address and my phone number to reach out to me. So if you are wanting to get contracted with NCD and you are not contracted, reach out to me and we will start that process and get that going. It's a very, very quick turnaround with NCD. I've seen it as quickly as 24 to 48 hours from the moment you ask for the contract and to get contracted. I don't want to say it's that way every time, but I have seen it go that fast. So another question that came through, I help with this, is could we get a copy of the slide presentation? Bobby, I'm not sure if you want to send that out. We do send a copy of the recording of today's webinar. I'm not sure, Bobby, would you want to share the actual slide deck? Is it approved to be sent out?
Yeah, absolutely. I love to have that in people's hands. Am I still sharing my screen?
No, I'm sharing it now, so
Okay.
I can move it back
Yeah.
to you. I just wanted to
Sounds
throw my
good. Yeah,
contact
Evan,
info out there.
I'll send you over those that slide deck right now so that yeah, I'd be happy to have that shared out.
Perfect. So I will get that sent out to Miss Tanya. Um, so yeah, I'll kind of wait for any other questions, but I just really wanted to reiterate three main points that, in my opinion, because I do work with a lot of different ancillary carriers. I've seen a lot of different dental plans and NCD. First off, the $10,000 annual max. That is double what any other carrier that I've ever seen does. So that's a huge, huge selling point. And again, if you have somebody that has a large family, that family plan with a 10,000 max is awesome. So definitely make sure you understand that. The second thing, there's $3,000 annual implant coverage. Most carriers might do 1,000 to 2,000 lifetime. The fact that NCD does 3,000 annually, that's another huge, huge selling point that I don't see very often. And then finally, and Bobby just kind of talked about this, is just that MetLife Dental Network, largest in the nation. I've seen some carriers, you search for dentists and they have 10 or 15 in the area. So the fact that there's so many makes it such a huge selling point for this plan. So really wanted to just re-hit on those main 3 points that Bobby had kind of brought up to the presentation. But yeah, I'm not seeing any other questions come through at this time. Bobby, thank you so much for going through all that. That was an amazing presentation. I've seen several on NCD and I learned something new every time. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Evan. And then just real quick, I did confirm that on our eyeglass allowance that if a family is enrolled in that, each member of the family gets their own eyeglass allowance of 220. So it's not shared, it's per person.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for checking into that. And then
Yep.
Susie, I'll also get the slides over to you as well.
Yep, I'm gonna work on sending that right now. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day. Happy Monday.
Thanks again, Bobby. Have a great day, everybody.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.